This is day 4 of our 9-day tour of the Irish island, and we're on our way to view the highlight of the trip, which are the cliffs of Moher. This is also one of the most visited tourist sites in Ireland. The landscape outside the cities of both the Republic and Northern Ireland had been nothing but a treat to the eyes with regard to its beauty. Meanwhile, we'll be seeing natural formations which are no less majestic and simply spectacular. Our tour guide Mary has continued talking about what we'll be seeing and a few Irish jokes which were wholesome, funny and well delivered. She was a natural both as an Ireland tourist guide and a storyteller. While the cliffs are beautiful in the sun and the cloud, you do not want to be able to actually see them, which isn't always possible in the fog. Those taking a day trip don't have much choice in the matter, but if you have your own vehicle, it's easier to keep your eye on the weather and plan around the conditions. This is now the entrance to the 32 million euro facility, which was planned and built over 17 years and officially opened in February 2007. It makes use of renewable energy systems, including geothermal heating and cooling, solar panels, and grey water recycling. The cliffs of Moher are located at the southwestern edge of the Buren region in County Clare, Ireland. The cliffs rise from 120 meters to the maximum height of 214 meters just north of O'Brien's Tower. A round stone tower near the midpoint of the cliff was built in 1835 by Sir Cornelius O'Brien. Since the cliffs of Moher are the most visited natural attraction, you can bet that it gets extremely busy. So much so that during the summer months, they need to close the area off because it's too full. The cliffs stretch for about 8 kilometers or 5 miles. According to the Visitor Center, crowds are particularly thick during the months of July and August. Arrive early in the morning or after 4 p.m. to avoid congestion. The center may remain open as late as 9 p.m. during peak season. There are an estimated 30,000 birds living on the cliffs, representing more than 20 species. These include Atlantic puffins, which live in large colonies at isolated parts of the cliffs. As with any ancient site of historical significance, the cliffs of Moher come with their fair share of legends. From the grisly demise of Moll, the old sea witch, chasing the object of her desire out to sea and turning the water a deadly red, to Saint Patrick, who angered the ancient high priests so much they magically transformed themselves into galloping foals. The cliffs rank amongst the most visited tourist site in Ireland and receive approximately 1 million visitors a year. Strong winds are often experienced on trips to the cliffs of Moher, but visitors will be notified of particularly hazardous conditions. If you see a status yellow sign, continue on your visit with extra caution. If the site has posted a status orange or status red, it is unsafe to approach the cliff's edge. After the cliffs of Moher, we're now on our way to Ennis.
Cows coming up here on the right, you'll see where you've got the St. Bridget's well. Is there anything behind you? Yeah. So we just go really slowly, there's something behind. road here. Do you see where the white is? Where they've just come out from the archway. That's where all the little bits are. You've got the graveyard up at the back there, and then you can see the monument to Cornelius O'Brien up ahead of us here on the right hand side.
Saint Bridget is known as Mare of the Gale and is one of Ireland's patron saints. She was born in Faughart in 451 AD. There are wells dedicated to Saint Bridget throughout the country. This is the Saint Bridget's cross. The crosses are made from rushes and placed overhead the door in many homes. Because it never had town walls, Ennis became a location for merchants from Limerick when Catholics were forbidden to reside in the walled towns by the penal laws. Much of its past prosperity is attributable to this influx. We're now in Ennis, the country town of Clare. The name Ennis comes from the Irish word Innis, meaning island. The past of Ennis is closely associated with the O'Brien family, who were descendants of Brian Boru. We'll just be staying here for the night and be heading for Adair in the morning. Early the next morning, everyone's ready for Adair. Adair is a village in County Limerick. It is renowned as one of Ireland's prettiest villages. Adair is designated as a heritage town by the Irish government. Adair is a popular wedding and conference venue. The Trinitarian Order, or the Order of the Most Holy Trinity and of the Captives, established their only monastery in Ireland in Adair in 1230. It is believed that the Trinitarian monks who came to Adair may have come from Scotland. The abbey was restored in 1811 by the first Earl of Dunraven as the Catholic parish church. Today, the members of the Trinitarian family include the Contemplative Nuns, the Trinitarian Sisters of Valence, the Trinitarian Sisters of Rome, the Oblates of the Most Holy Trinity, among others. Killarney is a town on the shores of Low Lane in southwest Ireland's County Kerry. It is a stop on the Ring of Kerry Scenic Drive and the start and finishing point of the 200-kilometer Kerry Way walking trail. Tourism is by far the largest industry in Killarney. With the exception of Dublin, there are more hotel beds in Killarney than in any other Irish town or city. Before proceeding to Killarney, we make a brief stopover at Killorglin. Killorglin is located on the Ring of Kerry and the Wild Atlantic Way and is home to the Pauline Bewick's permanent art exhibition. A prolific artist, Bewick paints in oil, sculpts, and works with cloth, but is most associated with watercolors. In one of the photo opportunity stops at the most scenic spots, we come across this Irish man with a dog on a donkey selling Bridget's cross woven from rushes. The Ring of Kerry is a scenic drive around the Iveragh Peninsula in southwest Ireland's County Kerry. Its 179-kilometer long circular route takes in rugged and verdant coastline landscapes and rural seaside villages. Its 179-kilometer long circular route takes in rugged and verdant coastal landscapes and rural seaside villages. The destination of this trip is the scenic coastline besides the towns in between. Instead of looking at paintings of landscapes in a museum, we're looking at the origins of the inspiration for such paintings. The Ring of Kerry is a photographer's paradise. It has a stunning scenery that changes as the light dances to the tune of the incoming Atlantic weather. Besides the walking path named the Kerry Way, which takes its own route, there is a Ring of Kerry cycling path which uses older, quieter roads where possible. St. Brendan of Clonfert, also called the Navigator, the Voyager, the Anchorite, and the Bold, is one of the early Irish monastic saints and one of the 12 Apostles of Ireland. St. Brendan is the patron saint of sailors and travelers. A monk from Galway, he sailed around the world for 9 years. On his journeys, Brendan encounters the wonders and horrors of the world. Daniel O'Connell, often referred to as the Liberator or the Emancipator, was an Irish political leader in the first half of the 19th century. He campaigned for Catholic emancipation, including the right for Catholics to sit in the Westminster Parliament, denied for over 100 years. Peat, also known as turf, is an accumulation of partially decayed vegetation or organic matter. Waterville, historically known as Corrian, is a village in County Kerry on the Iveragh. The town was a favorite holiday spot of Charlie Chaplin and his family. The Butler family built a house at the mouth of the river Currain in the latter part of the 18th century and named their estate Waterville. The Ring of Kerry route passes through the town. Waterville has a population of 538. Waterville Golf Links has been voted the 5th best golf course in UK and Ireland. However, the town got its name because it rains a lot in Waterville, so you'll probably get rained on during your game.
Standing up there on their own, the 4 stones, and they are Ogham stones. They're actually over burial sites, the stones that you've got up there. Ogham is the earliest type of writing. Now, if you have a look, everybody, just over to the right, you see where the landmass is ending over there on the right-hand side, the tip?
Yeah.
If you keep looking behind that, you'll definitely see it today. You're going to see a huge big rock that's going to appear. It's miles away from where we are. It's called the Skellig Rock. It's a World Heritage Site, and the Skellig Rock, it is the remotest place anywhere in Europe that the monks settled. They would have been out there from the 6th century right through to the 12th century. And the Skellig Rock, you see the top of it just coming into view, it rises up 700 feet above the level of the sea. And up at the top...
Skellig Michael is a twin-pinnacled steep rock situated 12 kilometers off the Iveragh Peninsula in County Kerry. Its twin island, Little Skellig, is larger but practically inaccessible and is closed to the public. The Skellig Islands, along with some of the Blasket Islands, form the most westerly part of the Republic of Ireland. It consists of 44 acres of rock. The Gaelic monastery, which used to be there, was founded between the 6th and 8th century. In the restaurant where we had lunch, the view could not have been better. Each window was like a painting. However, instead of the medium being oil on canvas, it was the real thing. They could have put frames around the windows. Shepherd's pie?
Yeah.
So how is it?
It's delicious.
It's recommended?
Very much so. It's got mashed potato on top of cheese, And inside it's ground beef.
The Ring of Kerry had no less been breathtaking so far. It's been like a painting which has come to life. It's easy to understand what Mary told us earlier about the reason why there are several poets in Ireland. It's because of the inspiring beauty of its landscape.
The length of the Ring of Kerry, which is 125 miles, may not seem long, but even if you drove around the ring without stopping or traffic congestion, it would take well over 3.5 hours to complete. You can do it all in a day, but the advice is go slow and savor the sights. Some travelers on cars get an early start, working their way clockwise to escape the tour bus procession heading counterclockwise.
There's also an established walking path named the Kerry Way, which takes its own route, and a signposted Ring of Kerry cycling path, which uses older, quieter roads where possible. The Ring of Kerry and Dingle Peninsula routes are comparable to some scenic rides along the coast of other countries. The coast of Croatia, for one. It can also be compared to scenic train rides such as the Amtrak California Zephyr train ride in the US. The boat ride along Milford Sound in New Zealand is another example. It is a tour to witness the splendor of nature which had been preserved from extreme commercialization. The Ring of Kerry Loop is one of the most popular day trips available from Dublin. This is the best reason to come here, the eternal beauty of the Irish landscape. Day trips tend to be quite long, up to 14 hours long due to all the driving. Multi-day tours include accommodation and allow you to see more at a slower pace.
And you can see we're just going to go through the little short tunnel here. So you'll see Killarney is full of hotels and bed and breakfasts, and there's huge demand for accommodation around the area of Killarney. So we're going to stop, so anybody at 7:30 in the morning. Yeah.
The difficulty with package tour is the stringent schedule which we had to abide by. The good thing about it is that we get to see sights like these during the best time of the day. The Ring of Kerry is the road that will take you through 10,000 years of dramatic history, from crystal streams to the crushing waters of the wild Atlantic, a road through rugged and majestic landscapes.
The start of the main street in Killarney. So if you want to go down the main street, it's just down there in Killarney itself, and we'll drop you off here. You can leave anything you don't need on the coach there and stretch your legs, have a look around the place. So we'll pick you up here then, say in an hour, say about 5 minutes after 5:00.
We just finished the Ring of Kerry road tour from Killarney to Killarney, and we'll be doing the Killarney to Killarney Dingle Peninsula road tour tomorrow.
St. Mary's Cathedral in Killarney is a Roman Catholic cathedral in County Kerry, Ireland. It was built 1842 to 1855. However, construction was not continuous. The Great Famine and the lack of available funds meant the work was stopped several times.
Meanwhile, we have some free time to go around the city of Killarney. This is where the restaurants and the shops are, and we're on our way back to the hotel. Killarney is a popular destination for party goers. Killarney's night spots are often busy 7 days a week during the summer months and weekend throughout the year, when the population of the town and the surrounding area increases significantly. The Dingle Peninsula's inspiring landscape is yet another reason for the literary prowess of the Irish. Its natural beauty, slightly enclosed with a layer of fog, is a perfect inspiration for a beautiful poem.
The wet sod of Dingle is soaked with medieval history. In the dimmest depth of the Dark Ages, peace-loving bookwormish monks fled the chaos of the continent and its barbarian raids. They sailed to this drizzly fringe of the known world and lived their monastic lives in lonely stone igloos. This is the type of scenery artists would like to get on their canvas. 180-degree view from blue to yellow. Parts of the peninsula are bleak and God-forsaken. Another chance to admire the view up close and take pictures. The highest fields in the Dingle Peninsula are untouched since the planting of 1845, when the potatoes never matured and rotted in the ground. The vertical ridges of the potato beds can still be seen, which is a reminder of the Great Potato Famine, which eventually, through starvation or immigration, cut Ireland's population by half.
If you're looking for nature to appreciate, the Ring of Kerry and the Dingle Peninsula are the places to seriously consider.
The Dingle Peninsula is on Ireland's southwest Atlantic coast. It is ringed by sandy beaches and craggy cliffs. Inland are rolling hills and mountains. The region is an officially recognized bastion of Irish language and culture. The Dingle Peninsula Loop trip is about 30 miles long and must be driven in a clockwise direction. The western end of the peninsula is a Gaeltacht or Irish-speaking area that has produced a number of nationally noted authors and poets. Gaeltacht is an Irish language word used to denote any primarily Irish-speaking region. It is now recognized that the Gaeltacht is threatened by serious language decline.
Very famous dolphin down here in Dingle. He's called Fungi, and Fungi has been here forever and ever and ever, and you get loads of dolphins around the waters, but Fungi stays put around the place here, and he's become a right novelty. They've made films once again about him. They have a big statue of him in Dingle here.
Principal industries in this town of less than 2,000 are tourism, fishing, and agriculture. The town was developed as a port following the Norman invasion of Ireland. Connections with Spain were particularly strong. Dingle was a major embarkation port for pilgrims to travel to the shrine of St. James at Santiago de Compostela.
The Ring of Kerry and the Dingle Peninsula are the two most famous driving routes for tourists in southwest Ireland.
So what can you say about the tour so far?
About the tour?
Yes.
There's a really cool guy on here called Ernie.
Thanks a lot.
The loop drive on the Ring of Kerry takes around 3 times longer than the Dingle Peninsula Loop drive. The Ring of Kerry is more touristy and more about the landscape and less about the towns and the culture. The Dingle Peninsula had more shopping and eateries.
The erosion of the landscape in this part resembles on a smaller scale the erosion of the landscape at the cliffs of Moher. In my opinion, the beauty of both the Ring of Kerry and the Dingle Peninsula would largely depend on the weather, with the fog and the light from the sun. These would be some of the best views in the Dingle Peninsula route. The wonderful coastline offers great view from below and above. This is Ireland at its best, all sparkling navy ocean and star-strewn skies. In fact, the sprawling Inch Beach on the peninsula's southern stretch is a known stargazing spot. There is a saying that you don't get to Dingle by accident. It is on the way to nothing but itself.